So far, we've done questions wherein we were required to prepare balance sheet. We've also done questions where we are supposed or where we are required to prepare P&L and balance sheet. Now we're going to solve a question where we're required to prepare balance sheet as well as PL, and it also requires us to do some additional adjustments. This question is illustration number 13 from our material. 13 is a very holy number, so is this question. This is a one of its kind, important, interesting master question is what we can say. And this is a question from July 2021 CA Intermediate Examination. Are you ready? Let's start reading. We have following trial balance of which limited as on 31st of March 2021. We will not waste time analyzing these items of trial balance into where do they belong. Let's quickly read the adjustments first and then understand where does these adjustments affect. And after we analyze the adjustments, we'll start with each item in the trial balance and straight away post it to the place where it belongs in our statement of profit or loss or balance sheet. Shall we? I will analyze each of these adjustments in detail for your understanding, and I'll clearly write it in the sheet calling for your understanding. This is because this is only for you to understand. You don't have to write this in the exam. Whenever I mention something as note, that has to be written in exam. When I mention something as for your understanding, it is only for you to understand the problem better, because a month later from the class when you're studying, you might not have me with you to ask that doubt. And I don't want you to go to any friend of yours also for getting this doubt clarified. Let's get started. Read the first adjustment. Authorized share capital of rupees is 5,000 shares, 6% shares of rupees 100 each, and 10,000 equity shares of rupees 100 each. This is the maximum limit. Put one flower bracket to this and write share capital. This would be writing in our notes to accounts for share capital. How much is maximum limit? 5,000 into 100, 10,000 into 100. Now read the next part. Issued equity capital on 1st of April 2020. That's the opening date, because we are supposed to prepare balance sheet and P&L as on 31st of March 2021. So as on 1st of April 2020, it stood as 7,20,000. So 7,20,000 is the capital on the opening date. 6,000 shares of rupees 100 each. Sorry, 6,000 shares fully paid up. That will be into 100. 2,000 shares 60 rupees paid up. 40 rupees uncalled unpaid. So 6,000 into 100, 6 lakh. 2,000 into 60, 1 lakh 20. 6 lakh plus 1 lakh 20 is 7,20,000. I hope you understood this. Come on, let me make a quick note of this. I leave my first page for balance sheet, second page for my P&L, third and fourth page for balance sheet notes to accounts, fifth and sixth page for P&L notes to accounts. And I'll write this in page 7. You don't have to write this in exam, but I am telling you I'm writing in my page 7. So number of shares that is there in the organization as on 1st of April is 6,000 shares of rupees 100 each, which is 6 lakh, and 2,000 shares of rupees 100 each, against which 60 rupees is paid up, 1 lakh 20. Together it is 7 lakh 20. This is my capital on the opening date. Got this? What do we have after that? Directors made a call of 40 per share. So shares are partly paid up. 100 rupees shares are 60 paid up, 60 called up, 2,000 in number. We're making the call for the balance 40. We will call the money. What's happening after that? On 1st of October 2020, a shareholder could not pay the call on 100 shares. So 2,000 shares, we're making call of 40 rupees per share. One shareholder who held 100 shares did not pay. So can I say that 1,900 shares we've received money, 100 shares we haven't received money. So for this, let's see what would be the journal entry. The journal entry when you make the call will be share call account debit to share capital. Am I right? How many shares? 2,000 shares into 40 per share. 80,000 rupees is called. 80,000 rupees is supposed to be received. Share capital will increase by 80,000. Before passing this journal entry, my share capital was 7,20,000. How much was my share capital? When I pass this journal entry, my share capital will increase by 80,000 to 8 lakh rupees. So right after I make this call, how much is my share capital? 8 lakh rupees. Did I receive this entire 80,000? No, I received only money against 1,900 shares, because a shareholder was holding 100 shares did not pay the money. Now let me write the journal entry as cash account debit or bank account debit. Against how many shares did we collect money? We shared it against 1,900 shares. I'll do 1,900 into 40. That is 2,000 minus 100. How much is that? 76,000. However, amount that I was supposed to receive by way of share call is 80,000. What about the balance of 4,000 that I did not receive? I have made the call, but I haven't received. I have made the call, but I haven't received. So this is missed call, calls in arrears. Call made, but no one picked. 4,000 rupees is calls in arrears. Now I can give him substantial time, I can give him sufficient notice to wait for money. Beyond a point, my patience is tested. After that, if he doesn't pay, what will I do? Yes, we'll forfeit the share. We will forfeit the share. Yes, ವಿಷ್ಣುವಿನ ತಾಳ್ಮೆ ಇರಲಿ ಆದ್ರೆ ನರಸಿಂಹನ ಕೋಪ ಮಾತ್ರ ಮರಿಬೇಡ. Yeah, we'll collect. We should wait and see. In Salarme, what dialogue will they tell for this? Before that, let's complete this question. A shareholder could not pay 100 shares and his shares were then forfeited. Oh, and reissued at rupees 90 per share as fully paid up. First we forfeited, reissue later. First we'll do forfeiture journal entries. What would be entry for forfeiture? We're snatching the share back from the shareholder. Share capital will decrease. When the share capital is decreasing, I will debit my share capital account. How many shares are forfeited? 2000, 1900, 100, 2000 shares call made, 1900 shares paisa received. How many shares paisa not received? 100 shares. Against 100 shares, we can't do paisa vasool. So what do we do? Forfeiture. So we'll write 100 shares into 100 per share. How much is 100 into 100? 10,000 rupees capital will reduce. We had collected some money against those 100 shares. Will we return that money back to them? We only know vasool vasool. We will not give it back. It is like Tirupati Undi. Only one way. Money will come. Money will not go out. Are you getting it? When we forfeited the share, will we return the 60 rupees what we had collected from him? No way. Chance illa. That money what we had collected will go to share forfeiture account. This will be used to give reissue at discount. If in case we don't use that money for reissue, that money will be our profit and it will be transferred to capital reserve. Did you all understand this? Okay. Now, previously I had debited calls in arrears. It is no more calls in arrears. Till now, I was asking money from him. He was supposed to pay me 4,000 rupees. That is for 100 shares. Correct? Into 40 rupees. Correct? Now, after forfeiting the share, if I ask for calls in arrears money, will he give? ಕಾಲಲ್ಲಿರೋ ಕೆರ ತಗೊಂಡು ಹೊಡಿತಾರೆ. He won't give. Calls in arrears money is receivable till the time there is no forfeiture. Once the share is forfeited, you cannot ask for money anymore. This asset will cease to exist. When the asset will cease to exist, asset has to be closed. How do we close the asset? Credit. So very simple. This 10,000 rupees, whatever is debited, corresponding credit is calls in arrears to the extent of 4,000 because it is no more a calls in arrears anymore. Whatever we had debited here is now reversed by crediting. And we also give the further credit 60 rupees per share what we had already collected to share forfeiture account. This is like income for us. You get this? This is the share forfeited entry. What did we do after this? After we forfeited, are we quiet? No. We'll say reissue madana. Yes. How many? What is the price at which these shares are reissued? 90 rupees. See, why did the shares get forfeited? Because the shareholder is a bad boy. He did not pay money. If you say bad girl, people will feel bad. They get offended. So it was bad boy. He did not pay money. So you're forfeiting the share. Whenever you forfeited the share, you learned a lesson. What is it? People, the first time how they talk to you is not how they talk to you last time. Yeah. When they paid application money, when they wanted allotment, that shareholder was smiling, talking to you so nicely. Later, when you asked for allotment money, they paid money. When you asked for call money, they didn't pick the call also. It became missed call. Hey, that's what has happened. Now you don't want to do the same thing again. This time you are thoughtful. You get this? Now you are very choosy whom to talk to, whom not to talk to. Now you don't want to, you have learned the lesson, no? Again, if you do application, allotment, call, you know what will happen? Application money will be received. Allotment money received. Again, call, kai kodtare. That call money they might not pay. Again, company will forfeit. Again, it will do application. Again, allotment. Again, call. This will go on happening. In the scrapbook, company will write hobbies, forfeiture and reissue. So we have learned the lesson. We don't want to do this time. You know what will we do this time? One installment. Only one installment. Pay full money, take the share and go. You get what? I'm not give installment. Pay full money in one shot. Are you getting it? So we'll also receive entire 90 rupees in one shot. They've told reissue is happening at 90 rupees per share, fully paid. Share is nominal value is how much? 100. What price are we issuing? Oh my God. How can we issue it at discount? Section 53 of Companies Act 2013 clearly states that shares cannot be issued at discount. How can we issue it at 90 rupees when the nominal value is 100? This is actually not issue. That is reissue. Already we had issued. Then we had collected 60. Now, if I'm happy to collect only 40. I'm happy to collect only, why only 40? Already 60 collected. Now, if I collect 40, together it will become 100. So I'm happy. Already old shareholder paid how much? New shareholder was supposed, sorry, old shareholder was supposed to pay how much? He didn't pay 40, so you forfeited. How much do you want to collect from new shareholder? 40. Minimum 40. Minimum, how much did you collect? 90. You were supposed to collect 40, but you collected 90. How much profit? 50. One second. Shall we do once again? Old shareholder paid 60. He did not pay 40. You are supposed to collect how much from new shareholder? 40. But you collected how much? 90. You are supposed to collect 40, but you collected 90. How much do you collect extra? That 50 rupees is profit. 50 rupees is, we'll see ulta, different way. Old shareholder paid how much? New shareholder paid how much? Together, how much did you collect? 150. Old shareholder paid 60. New shareholder paid 90. Together, you have collected 150 rupees for the share. Nominal value of the share. 50 rupees you collected extra. Profit. Second way. We'll do it third way. Shall we do it third way? Old shareholder paid how much? 60. So you can give 60 rupees discount. When you are reissuing, maximum discount is up to the amount collected from the previous shareholder. You collected 60 rupees from the old shareholder. So how much discount can you give? 60 rupees. What is the rate at which you reissued? 90. Nominal value. Okay, nominal value is 100. Reissue price is 90. How much is discount? 10 rupees. 100 rupees share when you issue it at 10. How much is discount? 100 rupees share if you reissue at 90. How much is discount? 10 rupees. How much is the discount that you are ready to give? 60. How much is the discount you gave? Difference. 50 is profit. Per share 50 rupees profit. Per share 50 rupees. This profit is not revenue in nature. This cannot go to P&L account. This is not revenue from operations. This is not other income. This profit should be transferred to capital reserve. It should be transferred to capital reserve. Represents profit arising from capital transactions. Capital reserve represents profit arising from capital transactions. Now I'll write here. This reissue entry barithini first. Bank account debit. I've reissued this 100 shares at rupees 90. 100 into 90, I'll write 9,000. This is increasing my share capital. I will credit share capital. I'll credit 100 shares into 100 rupees nominal value, 10,000. 9,000 rupees collected against 10,000 rupees. Difference is 1,000. This is my friend share forfeiture account discount allowed. Here I have credited share forfeiture by 6,000. Here I have debited share forfeiture by 1,000. 6,000 credit, 1,000 debit. Difference 5,000 credit. That is my profit. We did 50 rupees per share in 3 different ways. This is fourth way. Here we found the total amount. Sir, but there you told 50 into 100 shares. 5,000. I've taught you 4 ways of computing this. From whichever direction you come, you'll get the answer. You'll be like, sir, will not come from any of, will fall straight from the sky. And they kage paste ಆಗ್ತಂಗೆ. Sheet. Share forfeiture account. 5,000. That is 6,000 minus 1,000. Will be transferred to capital reserve. Did you understand this? Yes or no? Now the question is, we understood what you thought, sir. We read this in CA Foundation. Why are you teaching it now? What is the topic name? Financial statements. What are we doing here? Forfeiture and reissue. Sir, are you mad? I am not. You should understand why we're doing this. Now, how much is the share capital in the beginning? We wrote it here. How much? 7,20,000. Now, you see here. Do you have share capital here? Do you have share capital here? Okay. Credited or debited? So it will increase. Add 80. 8 lakh. How much is share capital? Share capital should be 8 lakh. Provided we receive the entire money. Did we receive? We forfeited the share. Come down. Second entry, second entry, do you have share capital? Come to third entry. Do you have share capital? Debit by 10. So minus 8 lakh minus 10. 7,90,000. Okay. Then, do you have again share capital here? Yes, you have reissued. It increased by 10,000. How much do you have? In this entry, do you have share capital? How much is the share capital in your calculator? 8 lakh, 7 lakh 20 plus 80,000, 8 lakh minus 10,000 forfeited, 7 lakh 90 plus 10,000 reissue, 8 lakh. Pakka. I will tell you, read this entire question. There is nowhere share capital. Second adjustment, no share capital. Third adjustment, no share capital. Fourth one, no share capital. Fifth, sixth, nothing. Share capital is not there anywhere. There is no transaction affecting share capital other than adjustment number one. There is no transaction affecting share capital other than adjustment number one. There are no more adjustments on share capital. Are we clear on this? Come to trial balance. How much is share capital? Did you understand what I'm trying to tell? ಏನು ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ ಇದೆ ಇದೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಖಂಡಿತ ಒಂದು ಸಮಸ್ಯೆ ಇದೆ. It should have been 8 lakh. They have written 8 lakh 5. So can I say that 8 lakh 5 is wrong or I am wrong? I am wrong. No way. Why? We've seen everything correctly. There cannot be a chance where we are wrong. So they are only wrong. They've done something wrong. Now we should identify what have they done wrong and we should rectify it. You know what have they done? Anyone who can tell what have they done? They've written capital reserve. We should write now 5,000. ಬರ್ದೇ ಇಲ್ಲ. See the question. Capital reserve ಇದೆಯಾ? ನೋಡಿ. ಇಲ್ಲಿದ್ಯಾ? General reserve ಇದೆಯಾ? P&L account ಇದೆಯಾ? ಎಲ್ಲಾದ್ರೂ ಇದೆಯಾ capital reserve? Anywhere? Do you see it anywhere? It's not there. It's not there. So they've done something wrong. Now we should do rectification. 8 lakh 5,000 is there, no? From this 5,000 kitaki, put it in reserves and surplus as capital reserve. 5,000 rupees, which was supposed to be written as capital reserve, has been wrongly included in capital. You get this? Baro Durgashtamige. Sari madana. Come on, let me write here. Observe now. Share capital. Whatever I just did just now, we did in calculator. No, we'll do it in the sheet now. Because if you do it in calculator, it will, once you press that AC button, it is gone. Later you will get doubt. How much is the share capital as on that date? Opening capital is 7 lakh 20. Then we made further call. How much call made? 80,000. Then we did forfeiture. How much? Then we made reissue. Add 10,000. Now come on guys, tell me what is the total? 8 lakh. But it is how much in trial balance? However, as per trial balance, it is 8 lakh 5. Why is that 5,000 difference? 5,000 what according to us should be transferred to capital reserve is been wrongly included in share capital. Are you getting it? Yes. It seems like they have wrongly taken profit on reissue of forfeited share to share capital instead of transferring to capital reserve. Now what do? We will record the capital at 8 lakh. Write that 5,000 to reserves and surplus capital reserve. We'll write share capital at 8 lakh and then there is no balance of capital in trial balance. That is the reason for our this answer. So we'll take share capital at what price? 8 lakh. Capital reserve. Everyone, if you would have not identified this, you know what would have happened? 1. Share capital will be wrong. 2. Reserves and surplus capital is wrong. 3. Whenever they pay dividend, they pay by mistake on 8 lakh 5. Dividend is wrong. Dividend is wrong for payment. Dividend, if they have not paid, outstanding that term. We'll write no dividend payable in other current liability. That is wrong. And dividend payable will be deducted from reserves. That is also wrong. So one mistake, one mark lakakare on 4 marks. 4 marks. Are you getting it now? Come on. Shall we see second adjustment? Did you understand the spirit of the entire first adjustment? If you want, write next year. Here, you have a lot of space here, right? Share capital 8 lakh, capital reserve 5,000. Share capital 8 lakh, capital reserve 5,000. And next to this 8 lakh 5,000 here, right here. Tapo. Dot tapo. What is the problem? Easy, difficult? Easy, difficult? It is not easy. It is difficult. We made it easy. Credit kodala. Now tell me, is it easy or difficult? It is difficult. Fine, it's okay. ಹಾ, ಯಾವಾಗ್ಲೂ ಒಂದ್ ನೆನ್ಪಿಟ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ, ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಈಸಿ ಆಗಿದ್ರೆ ಲೇಜಿ ಆಗ್ಬಿಡ್ತೀರಾ, ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಡಿಫಿಕಲ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿದ್ರೆ ಅಲರ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿರ್ತೀರಾ. ಕಮಾನ್, ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಒನ್ ರೀಡ್. On 31st of March 2021, directors declared dividend of ನಾನು ಹೇಳ್ದೆ ತಾನೆ, I told no then only 5% dividend is given now. If in case you had not done first one rectification correct, you would have done 8 lakh 5,000 into 5%. Because of that 5%, your dividend amount will be, oh, your wrong agoytu. Now you will get correct one. You should do 8 lakh into 5%, not 8 lakh 5,000 into 5%. Done. Whatever. 40,000. Is it paid or payable? We didn't read only full. Read it again. On 31st of March 2021, directors declared. Who declared? Who declared? So it is not final dividend. It is interim dividend. Sir, how do you say? Interim dividend is declared by directors. Final dividend is declared by shareholders in general meeting. This is declared by directors. So it is interim dividend. Understood? Okay, next 5% on equity shares. Now 5% on 8 lakh. Right next to there only 5% on 8 lakh. On 8 lakh, not on 8 lakh 5. How much? 40,000. Transferring any amount that may be required from general reserve. We're taking the money from, they're telling ignore taxation, ignore DDT. DDT is however not there. Jay Nirmala auntie. Removed, no? Removed DDT. We don't have to do that. It was actually little complex. Crossing up of dividend and all, it was there little complex. Yeah. I did randomly one day some video 2016 writing on the board and then teaching. That video got more than 10,000 views. For small 5 minutes video. Did 2016, 2017, 18 vargu 100 views. 2019, 20, 21. Oh my God. Managerial remuneration, I done 10 minutes video. Class after class, wrote on the board and then explained. 100 views for 2016, 17, 18, 19. Now it is like huge. Like I don't remember the number, but it's got too many views. Only 10 minutes entire managerial remuneration. But very unfortunate now it's report from syllabus. Can't help. Fine. So 5%. What do we do? Is it paid or payable? Paid or payable? Payable. Payable. Right next to it. Payable, not paid. Payable, not paid. So it will decrease reserves. Where do we write? In our reserves, will reduce general reserve. Payable, current liability. So where do we write? Other current liability. Understood? Anything else? Is there anything else that we should do? Till now you are not thinking. Now you are thinking. ಅಯ್ಯಪ್ಪ ಸ್ಮೈಲ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇರೋದು ನೋಡಿದ್ರೆ ಏನೋ ಇದೆ. There is something. What is it? Tax? Cash alla. Tax alla. Shall I tell? There is one hidden adjustment there which you are not reading correctly. Should read between the words to understand it. Huh? Paid to? Shall I tell? Shall I tell? No one tells it, right? If anyone tells, I'll give a chocolate. It is included in generalism. Should be taken. That is all given in the question. There is something which is not given, but we should do. Shall I tell? Whenever we start paying dividend, before we give 1 rupee to equity shareholder, preference shareholder will say, Nange, give me also, no? First, we should give dividend to preference shareholder. Ayyo. End of the year. First, you should give dividend to? Only after that, dividend to equity shareholder. Before paying annual dividend to preference shareholders, you can't even announce interim dividend. For paying preference dividend, you don't have to wait till AGM. Will you declare dividend to preference shareholder in AGM? It is anyway supposed to be paid. It's a financial liability. It is not a decision by board or shareholders can together say, we've decided, we'll not give dividend to preference shareholder. Can you say that? You can't do that. You have to pay. Huh? Now, look at that. Do we have preference share capital? 5 lakh. 5 lakh into 6%. 30,000 you have to pay. 30,000 you have to pay. Doubt? Did not understand? Met means understood. Thank you. Yes. So This is also payable, not paid. So current liabilities will have two things: preference share, dividend payable, equity dividend payable. 30,000 preference dividend, 40,000 equity dividend, together 70,000 payable. How much should we reduce from general reserve? 70,000. 70. When this question came in the exam, lot of students did it right only for equity. They forgot preference. Share capital as on 31st of March 2021 is how much? 8 lakh. Lot of them confidently gave dividend on 8 lakh 5 also. Yeah, dividend at 5%. 8 lakh into 5%. 40,000 payable or paid? Assumed to be not paid. Okay, journal entry. General reserve account debit 40 to dividend payable 40. This dividend payable, will let's call it equity dividend payable. Equity dividend payable 40. Now shall I also write preference dividend payable? Did you not get thought preference dividend also we should pay, Anta? How much? Change ಮಾಡೋಣ, change ಮಾಡೋಣ. Okay, this has to be deducted from reserves and surplus, and this item together, this will become yes, 5 lakh into 6%. ಅಡಚಣೆಗೆ ಕ್ಷಮೆ ಇರಲಿ. 8 lakh into 5%. This amount will be other current liability. Will you remember this? Do you have to write this working note in the exam? Not required. Straight away write it in balance sheet, more than sufficient. But I am doing it so that you will not have doubt later. Can we go to next one? Come on, what's after this? Read the third one. The company, on the advice of independent valuer, wishes to revalue the land at 36 lakh. 36 lakh is the revalued figure. What is the original value? 24 lakh is going to become 36 lakh. How much is the increase in the value? 12 lakh upward revaluation. When you do 12 lakh upward revaluation, okay, here remember, provide preference dividend before equity. Okay, now land as per trial balance is 24 lakh. Land that should be revalued as per independent value 36. Increase in land value by 12 lakh. So land account has to be debited by 12 lakh. Whenever the asset is revalued upward, the credit is given to revaluation reserve 12 lakh. You know, where do we present this? In our notes to accounts, tangible assets. We write no asset name, original cost. We wrote one column called revaluation in the problems that we did till now, which was empty. Now we will write there upward revaluation 12 lakh plus. And we'll write accumulated depreciation on land, which is 0 because this is not new Murray land which will be depreciated. And then we'll write closing WDV. Are you getting it? This revaluation reserve of 12 lakh should appear in reserves and surplus, note number 2 to balance sheet. Can I go to fourth adjustment? Come on now, read fourth adjustment. What does it say? Suspense account of 40. Oh, trial balance only 40,000 suspense account is there. Where do we write this in balance sheet? It should not be written. This suspense is arising because there is error. This suspense is arising because there is, we have to identify the error and rectify the error before trial balance. Sorry, after trial balance, before final accounts. So one-sided error. That is the reason they have transferred to suspense. So our rectification entry will be journal entry involving suspense account. Yes or no? Shall we write the entry? Come on. First, let's see what has happened. Suspense account of 40,000 represents amount received for the sale of some of the machinery. You sold machinery on 1/4/2020. Very good adjustment. Say thank you when they tell 1/4/2020. Why? It's an auspicious day. What, sir? That day is Yugadi. No, that day is beginning of financial year. Because they have sold on 1st of April 2020, we don't have to depreciate that asset in the current year. If that sale was on 30th of September around Deepavali Dasra time, you are supposed to provide depreciation for 6 months and then make the sale entry. Now it is nice. Underline that 1st of April 2020. Right there. No depreciation for current year. No depreciation for current year. Ooh. What is the cost of machinery? 1 lakh. Underline that and write OC. OC means original cost. Sir, previous question you made us write OC. That is operating cycle. Oh. And the accumulated depreciation thereon is 30. Underline that word 30. Accumulated depreciation. Accumulated depreciation. Connect both of them and write WDV 70,000. WDV 70,000. Did you write WDV 70,000? Selling price is 40,000. Selling price is 40,000. They've told suspense account of 40,000 represents amount received for sale. Right above that 40,000. Selling price. Selling price 40,000. Original cost 1 lakh. Accumulated depreciation 30,000. WDV 40,000. Sorry, 70,000. Chepu Balika. How much is the profit? No profit. How much is the loss? 30,000. Everyone understood? 1 lakh rupees original cost, 30,000 accumulated depreciation, WDV is 70, sold for 40. When you sell an asset whose WDV is 70 for rupees 40, you make 30 rupees, 30,000 rupees loss. 30,000 rupees. You know what have they written? They have written cash account debit correctly. They have written cash account debit correctly. They should have credited machinery, debited P&L. Machinery decreasing is 70,000. They should have debited P&L 30 for loss. Am I right? But they've wrongly written cash account debit 40. They don't know what to write credit. So they've left it like that. Suspense was there was something missing in the credit side. They put it to suspense. Understood? Come on, let me tell you what has happened in this case. A machinery has been sold. How many of you skipped topic of depreciation in foundation? How many of you skipped provision for depreciation concept in foundation? Welcome to CA intermediate. I told you not to skip there. Now get ready for your journey. Suffer in CA intermediate. Original cost of the asset 1 lakh. Accumulated depreciation 30,000. Closing balance, I want to say the WDV of the asset is 70,000. It is been sold at sale value of 40. So 30,000 rupees is loss. So what is the correct journal entry that we were supposed to pass? Cash and bank account debit. How much? 40. To machinery account. How much? 1 lakh. Sir, why, sir? You tell me why. With provision. Provision for depreciation. How much? How much is provision for depreciation on that asset? 30. 30. You should not write two machinery 70. Should write credit machinery 1 lakh, debit provision 30. Shakti, skip da. Oh, come on, come on. ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಮುಂದಕ್ಕೆ. ನಿಂಗೆ ಅರ್ಥ ಆಯ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ವಾ ಅಂತ ನಂಗೆ ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. 1 lakh rupees we credit machinery because machinery is going out worth original cost 1 lakh. Against that machinery, we had created provision for 30, which is no longer required because machinery is only not there. What will you do with it? It's accumulated depreciation. So send that accumulated depreciation also out. That accumulated depreciation is like provision. Provision is liability. When the liability is reducing, we debit it by 30. Still, debit credit is not matching. Here it is 70, here it is 1 lakh. How much is mismatch? That 30 is P&L account debit. This is what they should have done. You know what have they done? You know what is the wrong entry that they've passed? There is suspense of credit 40. Meaning, the wrong entry that they passed is cash or bank account debit 40. That's it. They left it like that. They have not written anything. So trial balance was not tallying. Credit side 40,000 was missing. So we wrote suspense 40. Did you understand the error? They wrote cash account debit. That's it. This much is missing, no? P&L debit, provision debit, machinery credit. Have they written? Shall I write that now? Say something. I'll write that now. P&L debit 30, accumulated depreciation debit 30, machinery credit 1 lakh. Suspense was wrongly credited. Suspense was credited. I should nullify suspense. So I will debit suspense by 40. I should debit suspense by, did you understand? We have received cash of 40. Gave away asset worth 1 lakh against which accumulated depreciation already charged is 30. Basically, we gave away asset worth 70 for consideration of 40. 30,000 loss. Should have written cash account debit, asset account credit, provision account debit, P&L account debit. We have written cash account debit. So now we'll write P&L account debit for loss, accumulated depreciation account debit for writing off, machinery account credit for decrease in value of the asset, and difference to suspense. Because previously suspense was open, now we are closing the suspense by 40. Everyone, this is the rectification entry that should be passed. Whenever we pass this rectification entry, newer trial balance, newer there is 40,000 suspense, that will become 0. Deduct from suspense to make it Aryabhatta 0. It will become 0 after you do this. Understood? Profit and loss account debit 30. Where do we write it? Tell. Reserves and surplus. Machinery account. Will deduct in? Interesting answer. Might be correct, but actually wrong. I'll tell you why. If you write in reserves and surplus, first we find net profit. Then we deduct tax. Then it is transferred to reserves and surplus. There you're deducting loss. Actually, loss should reduce profit. You should take it in P&L so that profit will decrease. On the decreased profit, we pay tax. This will give same impact if you take in reserves and surplus, but tax will become wrong. This also people have done creatively, taken it in reserves and surplus as minus because profit will decrease. Am I right? But this is expense. Okay, now ignore company accounts. Ignore company accounts. In normal accounting, where would you write this? P&L account debit side. Alva. You should write in statement of profit or loss. No. Oh, where is statement of profit or loss? Other expense. Sir, but this is loss. What do we write? Other expense. We write loss on sale of machinery. How much? 30,000. Did you understand? This has to go to loss on sale of machinery, other expense in P&L. Anybody has doubt? Pucho na pucho mujhe kya? Akka, please ask me. Any doubt? He's like telling you, what do you think of this? It will not go to reserves and surplus. You ask me, I will tell. Doubt, Ilva. Can I continue? What do we do with this accumulated depreciation 30? Deduct from provision already there. We have already created. They have given. Somewhere in the question, if you observe, ille yellow kotirtare. Provision 1,72,000. That 1,72,000 provision is there. No, in that 30,000 is no longer required. We deduct it, making that 1,72,000, 1,42,000. What we do in balance sheet is to write that tangible asset. We go to notes to accounts. In the tangible assets note to account, we write the name of the asset. We write the original cost of the asset. We write revaluation. We write accumulated depreciation opening balance. In that opening balance, we deduct 30. We should not do. What item are you talking about? Reserves and surplus. P&L. You still there? I am ahead. That should be written in P&L account. When you write in P&L account other expense will increase. Profit will decrease. That decreased profit we take as reserves and surplus to balance sheet. Okay. Acha. Now talking about this 30. This 30 has to be deducted from accumulated depreciation in tangible assets. Tangible assets we write no. Original cost, revaluation, accumulated depreciation 1,62,000 or 1,72,000. From that deduct 30,000. and balance asset is there. No? On that balance asset, we charge current year depreciation. So that one opening accumulated depreciation minus 30 plus closing depreciation will be total provision. That will be deducted from the original cost to arrive at the closing balance. But don't forget, from the original cost of the asset 7 lakh 70, we should deduct 1 lakh. Understood? I'll show. Till then, sabar karo. I'll show that to you in tangible assets notes to accounts. This will be given impact where tangible assets working note. So this 30,000, where do we deduct? Deduct from provision for depreciation. Where? Tangible assets. PPE. Okay. Then what about this 1 lakh? Deduct from original cost. Original cost column will be there, no? From that you deduct this 1 lakh. Are you getting it? Come to the question. See how much is the value of plant and machinery. In 7 lakh 70, what is the value of the machinery sold? 1 lakh. 7 lakh 70, two parts. 1 lakh sold. No depreciation. 6 lakh 70. On that we should provide depreciation towards the end of the year. Don't forget that. We should compute the depreciation on the balance 6 lakh 70 at the end of the year. Done. Can you go to next adjustment? Very good. Come on, read the next one. Depreciation is to be provided 10% on. Oh my God, say thank you for cost. If they had told WDV, then we were supposed to do little more intensive working note. 7 lakh 70. In that 1 lakh over 6 lakh 70. Accumulated depreciation is there, no? That 1 lakh. How much is it? 1 lakh 72. 1 lakh 72, we should identify how much of that 1 lakh 72 is for the asset of 1 lakh sold. How much of that 1 lakh 72,000 is for the 6 lakh 70,000 asset retained. Why? We want to find the WDV of that asset 6 lakh 70. Why? Depreciation is under WDV method. We should compute it on WDV. But they don't want us to suffer. They want us to stay happy. So they've told cost. Did you understand how much thankful we should be for they telling the word cost? If they were cruel and cunning like me, they would have changed the word cost to WDV. Aga, maja madi. Exam one more working note you should do. So you should be thankful to them because they told cost. Underline that and write SLM. 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 Straight line method. Come on. Yes, ma. Nane, sir. Really? Okay. 7 lakh 78. Two parts, no? Sold. Cost is 1 lakh. Retained. Cost is 6 lakh 70. Total accumulated depreciation is 1,72,500. That 1,72,500 we should split between 1 lakh and 6 lakh 70. How? 1,72,500 into 1 lakh divided by 7 lakh 70. 1,72,500 into 6 lakh 70 divided by 7 lakh 70. We'll get proportionate. That proportionate amount will deduct from 6 lakh 70 to find the WDV of that asset retained. On that we'll apply depreciation percentage. And this is also based on an assumption that asset retained and asset sold is bought on the same date. What if the asset sold is bought on a different date, asset retained is bought on a different date? Then accumulated depreciation will not be in proportion. You understood? One doubt ಕೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. ಅದು ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ ಅದ್ರ ಜೊತೆಗೆ I should know. Such a beautiful subject. I should make you understand the beauty. Okay. 30,000 is on this minus 30. Balance amount will be on the asset retained. Then it will not be in the proportion when they've actually given. So assets have actually not been bought together. Sorry. I got slightly carried away. Now tell me 6 lakh 70 into 10%. 67,000. How much will be the closing value? 6 lakh 70 minus 67. 6 lakh 3,000. 6 lakh. I forgot that they've given accumulated depreciation on the assets sold. We can just do minus 30. If they don't give that 30, we should do a portion. If I was the one who made the question, I would not give that 30. Sorry. Okay. Now 6 lakh 3,000 will be the closing value of the machine. In our tangible assets, plant and machinery, original cost 7 lakh 70 minus 1 lakh. Accumulated depreciation 1 lakh 72,500 1,72,000 minus 30 plus 67. That will give you total accumulated depreciation. Minus from 6,70,000, you will get the closing WDV, which will go to tangible assets. What will go to depreciation and amortization expense? 67,000 only. Oh, that opening accumulated depreciation will not go to P&L as expense. Are you getting it? Everyone understood? Let me repeat. Original cost 7,70,000 minus 1 lakh sold, 6,70,000 original cost of the asset there. Accumulated depreciation 1,72,000. In that 30,000 removed, minus 32, minus 30, plus 67,000 current year depreciation. If you do that, what do you get? 1,72,000 minus 30 plus 67. 2,09,000 minus 6,70,000 will be closing WDV of plant and machinery. What should go to balance sheet? What should go to balance sheet as tangible? That's not the only one. Other tangible asset also will be added and written. Understood? Now, how much will be the depreciation and amortization expense that will go to P&L? 67,000? Wrong. You know why? 67,000 is depreciation. There is amortization also. We should compute amortization and then together we should send the amount to P&L. See, every time when we get one answer right, we might not get the next one. Somewhere we might just forget. So 1/5 of the amount is to be amortized. From what? Goodwill. How much is goodwill? 12 lakh. 12,50,000 is the value of goodwill. In that goodwill, less amortization is 1/5. How much is 1/5? 2,50,000. When you deduct, what do we get? 10,00,000 is the goodwill closing balance. This has to be amortized. Amortization is an expense. We'll debit amortization expense account. Credit will be goodwill account. 2,50,000, 2,50,000. This amortization will become depreciation and amortization expense together. We'll write it there. Goodwill of rupees 2,50,000 has to be deducted from 12,15,000 intangible assets to bring the value of goodwill to 10 lakh rupees in the balance sheet. So in the balance sheet, goodwill intangible asset will be 10 lakh. Depreciation and amortization expenditure in P&L will be 2,50,000 amortization plus depreciation of 67,000, together 3,17,000. For which item? Goodwill will write notes to accounts, normal. Same thing. 12,50,000 minus 2,50,000 will write. Okay? Yes or no? After that, come to the next one. Illa aita, illa. One of the main adjustments is still there. So far 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 over. A and B is there. Now we can actually start with our postings. Shall we start? Start with the beginning. Equity share capital 8,05,000. Shall I write 8,05,000 in share capital? No. How much do we write? Smart people. Share capital. Authorized share capital, what we don't know. They've given later. We're reading it in the order. Issued, called up. How much? 5,000 into 6%. 5 lakh. Correct? Huh? And equity share capital 8,000 shares of rupees 100 each, 8 lakh. Together 13 lakh. Any doubt? Done? Come on. Tick that. 5 and 8 lakh 5. Next item. 9% debenture 4 lakh. Done. Done. 9% debenture 4 lakh. Where do we write? Long-term borrowings. Let me write in long-term borrowings 9% debentures 4 lakh. Done. After this, general reserve will appear in our reserves and surplus 40 lakh. So let me write general reserve in reserves and surplus 40 lakh. After this, profit and loss of previous year 72. This will appear in my inner column. To this I'll add my current year profit. From this I'll deduct my dividend, preference and equity. Then I'll write the balance in outer column. So I will write profit and loss account 72,000 in inner column. We'll wait to write other items and then post the balance later. Next, sales is revenue from operations. How much? 60 lakh. Let me write straight away in PL. There is no adjustments. Revenue from operations 60 lakh in P&L. Done. Next, trade payables 10 lakh 40. Is there any adjustment? Shall I write straight away in balance sheet? Balance sheet liability side trade payables 10 lakh 40. Balance sheet, liability side, trade payables, 10 lakh 40. Clear? What's after this 10 lakh 40? Provision for depreciation on plant and machinery, 1 lakh 72. This will appear in my tangible assets note. For what item? Plant and machinery. How much is the accumulated depreciation opening? 1 lakh 72,000. After that, suspense. This will not appear. Why? We will nullify this suspense in our rectification entry. Suspense of 40,000 is eliminated. Here it is credit. In the rectification entry, we've debited it. It has become 0. So this will not come. Put into mark. Put into mark. Suspense is eliminated. Suspense is eliminated. Hmm? Next, land at cost 24 lakh. I'll write in inner column. I'm going to say original cost column. There is revaluation. Intangible column, I'll write land, original cost opening 24 lakh. Okay. Aparama, plant and machinery at cost 7 lakh 70,000. That's right. Plant and machinery original cost 7 lakh 70. Okay. Next, 19 lakh 60. Balance sheet. Come on, let's write in balance sheet. Straight away I'll write. I'll not open our note stock accounts. Why not required? There is no adjustment. Is there any star next to it? So no adjustment. 19 lakh 60. Then this is opening inventory or closing inventory? Hey, 31st of March 2021 is closing date. Here it is 31st of March 2020. Opening date. Opening date 9 lakh 50,000. From this we should deduct our closing inventory and then writing changes in inventory. No. We read the entire question. They have not even closing inventory anywhere. See the question. See the question. Throughout the question you see. Trial balance irodilla. After trial balance. Have they given anywhere? Kotilla. Huh? Hey, 31st of March 2020 is opening date. 0. We can assume it to be 0. It will be same. Actually complex problem. You're telling very simple solution. Right next to the 2020. Opening inventory. This is opening. So there is something wrong here. But right now we don't know what is wrong. So what will we do? Put one question mark next to it for closing inventory. Put one question mark next to it for closing inventory. We will keep it pending. For now we'll keep it pending. Shall we? It is actually not such simple. It's a little complex thing, but you're telling very simple solution. Okay. Shh. Khamosh. Next. Bank. 2,30,900. Where do we rate bank of 230,900? Cash and cash equivalent. 2,30,900. Any adjustments? No adjustments. What's after that? Adjusted purchase. Adjusted purchases. What does adjusted purchases mean? COGS. Right next to adjusted purchases. COGS. It's also known as cost of goods sold. It's also known as, how do we find cost of goods sold? Opening stock plus purchases minus closing stock is equal to adjusted purchases. We know opening stock. We don't know purchases. We don't know closing stock. We know adjusted purchases. We know adjusted purchases. Now, in our P&L statement, there are two things. One, purchase of stock in trade. Two, changes in inventory. Two items should come. No, raw material is not there. There are two items that will come. Purchase of stock in trade. Second one, changes in inventory. Purchase of stock in trade is purchases. Changes in inventory is opening stock minus closing stock. What is this adjusted purchase? Opening stock plus purchases minus closing stock. So can I, instead of writing purchase of stock in trade and changes in inventory separately, together can I write 22,32,100? Did not understand, no? Right there. Adjusted purchase is equal to COGS is equal to opening stock plus purchases minus closing stock. It is opening stock plus purchases minus closing stock. Purchases will be the expense, purchase of stock in trade. Changes in inventory is opening stock minus closing stock. What is changes in inventory plus purchase of stock in trade? Adjusted purchases. What is changes in inventory plus purchase of stock in trade? Purchase of stock in trade is purchase. What is changes in inventory? Opening stock minus closing. So opening stock plus purchase minus closing is adjusted purchase. That is purchase of stock in trade plus changes in inventory. So I don't have to find closing stock. I don't have to find here. I need to write purchase of stock in trade. For where I should write purchase. Here I should write opening minus closing. Instead, I'll write adjusted purchases together as 22,32,100. This is purchase plus opening stock minus closing stock. Together 22,32,100. Foundation, final accounts, adjusted purchases. So that one topic I skipped. That only is coming here. The depreciation I know. Provision I skipped. That only came. Rectification is one topic I didn't like. That only came here. Everything is what I don't like. You go to dinner. Every dish that's cooked is cooked dish that you don't like. Somewhat like that. I say I will put in the first page of the question paper. I know what you have skipped. Question paper first time ತಕ್ಷಣ meter off. Bye friends. ಇಷ್ಟೆಲ್ಲಕ್ಕೆ ಇಷ್ಟಪಡ್ತೀನಿ. ಮತ್ತೆ ಸಿಗ್ತೀನಿ. Bye friends. I will meet you later. Some random guy. Yeah, he got beaten up once because we made fun of somebody. Then Papa. Then they came and they told sorry for him. Like some petty fights. So not relevant. But 22,32,100 done. Here we survived. Did you understand this? But closing stock should be written in balance sheet. How much is closing stock? Here though you survived. Here but you should write closing stock in balance sheet. Opening stock. Hell. You're telling solve the equation and you will get it. In order to find one variable, you want one equation. If you have two unknown variables, you want two equations. Now we have two unknown variables. We don't know purchase. We don't know closing stock. I'll tell you. I'll tell what exactly am I trying to convey. Observe. Look at the board. I got what you're trying to tell. What is given in the question is opening stock 9,50,000. Correct? Purchases question mark not given. Minus closing stock. Have they given closing stock? Question mark not given. Is equal to what? Adjusted purchases or cost of goods. This is known. How do we solve it? 9,50,000 plus x minus y is equal to 22,32,500. We need to solve for x and y. We want two equations to solve. We have only one equation. We can't solve. We can't solve. Now two assumptions. One, we'll assume purchases as 0. Can we assume purchases as 0? Hey, mad or what? How can, if purchases is 0, then now will adjusted purchase be 22,32,100. In Maria the opening stock. Not possible. Second assumption, we can assume closing stock as 0. I'll tell you third assumption. Assume stock level is same throughout the year, because of which opening stock is equal to closing stock, which is more logical. Stock level is assumed to be constant throughout the year, because of which we are assuming the opening stock to become closing stock. If we assume this, you know what will happen? Changes in inventory, we do opening minus closing. Opening minus closing is 0. So adjusted purchases is actually purchases. Oh, so that will also hold good. This will also hold good. Observe here. As no information is available, we cannot assume closing stock 0. We cannot assume purchase 0. We should assume some number. Sir, 22,456. Why? Just like that, sir. Rather than some random number, it is better we assume closing stock and opening stock are same. No, stock level is assumed to be same. So if we assume that stock is same throughout the year, closing stock is equal to opening stock is equal to 9,50,000. Because of which If we try to find out our purchases, what will it be? 9 lakh 50 plus purchase question mark minus 9 lakh 50 is equal to 22 32 for 100. So how much will be this? 22 lakh 32,100. So purchases has become adjusted purchase. Changes in inventory has become zero. Are you getting it? So this will be fine. I'm not changing the answer. Here this will be 22 lakh 32,100 zero only. Rather than writing changes in inventory zero and writing this like this, I'll write like this. I'll write my closing stock where? In my balance sheet inventory as 9 lakh 50. Assume it to be same as opening stock. Assume it to be same as. Are you getting it? This is the most logical assumption possible. This is the last adjustment. There are no more adjustments in this problem anymore. You can do. But why? Already ಬರ್ದಿರೋದು ಏನಕ್ಕೆ change ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಾ? You can. Okay. Yes or no? Yeah. You are wondering, how did those people do this question in exam? That's more curious to you. I took 1 hour. I'm not done. I'm finishing. But I'm telling explanation and I'm making you laugh in between, talking to you, all of that. If not, 40 minutes, we can finish this. 35 minutes possible, actually. 20 marks. Hey, 20 marks question. 20 marks question. 20 marks means some people are like, parvaila sir, 80 is fine. Okay. Come to next one. Yeah. सुनाई दे रहे मुझे? बेरा नहीं हूं मैं. Listen. How much factory expense? ಏನಾ? ಓಯ್ ಕಳಿಸ್ಬೇಕಾ ಹೊರಗಡೆ? Factory expense 15 lakh. Where do you write? We'll write it in other expenses. We'll open one separate note for other expenses. What do you write here? Factory expenses. How much? 15 lakh. After this, administrative expenses. 3 lakh. Where do we write? Other expenses. Admin expenses 3 lakh. Then selling expenses 14 lakh. Other expenses. Look at the board. There is nothing to look there. You don't even have the book. Look here. Where are you seeing? Answer really there. 14 lakh selling expense. Debenture interest of 36,000. Finance cost. P&L. Straight per P&L. There is no need of note. Finance cost. I'll write 36,000 debenture interest. They could have made it more interesting. They could have told debenture interest is payable on termly basis. Interest accrued but not due. Could have been given, but don't worry, I'll not disappoint you. I'll make couple of adjustments into this question and then give it to you people in one of the mock exams or mock tests that you'll write later. Goodwill 12 lakh 50. Sir, ಹೇಳ್ಬಿಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀರಾ? ಹೇಳ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಕೊಡ್ತೀನಿ. Yeah. Goodwill 12 lakh 50,000. So we'll write intangible assets on separate note. I'll write goodwill inner column 12 lakh 50. Why? There is amortization. I'll get trial balance over. Now we'll start with adjustments. The best part is already we've adjusted all the adjustments we've written. What is the objective of first adjustment? Capital is not 8 lakh 5, capital is 8 lakh. 5,000 should go to capital reserve. We'll write capital reserve straight away, reserves and surplus here. Should I show that again and explain it to you? You already know. Revaluation reserve. Sorry. Sorry. Capital reserve. Profit on shares forfeited 5,000. Understood? Very good. What's after that? Second adjustment. Dividend. Equity preference. Both we should write. We've already done the working note. How much equity dividend? 40 equity dividend, 30 preference dividend, together 70. Both have to be deducted from reserves and surplus. In my reserves and surplus, I'll write from P&L. Add current year profit, what we don't know now. Less preference dividend, less equity dividend. 30 and 40. Got it? And this 30 and 40 of preference and equity dividend, what is there here, should be written as other current liability. Preference dividend, equity dividend, together 70. Preference dividend 30, equity dividend 40, together 70,000. Clear? After this, next, third adjustment. Land is to be valued at 36 lakh. Shall we increase the value of land by 36? I've already taught you the journal entry. You will add 12 lakh here, make it 36 lakh. Journal entry is land account debit to revaluation reserve. Land value has increased by 12 lakh, debit land. 12 lakh rupees revaluation reserve in reserves and surplus. We'll write here revaluation reserve, 12 lakh. Everyone, what's after that 1 lakh? Suspense account 40, already eliminated. Already represents amount received for the sales of some of the machinery 1/4/2020. The cost of the machinery was 1 lakh, accumulated depreciation 30. I told no, 1 lakh rupees. Observe this first. Here 1 lakh should be reduced from original cost. 30,000 should be reduced from provision for depreciation. Are you getting it? Then new asset that balance asset depreciation 60,000 should be deducted, and then we'll find the total accumulated depreciation and the closing balance. Come on here. 7 lakh 70 is there. From that I'll eliminate 1 lakh because asset sold, original cost. On that 30,000 will depreciate here. We'll eliminate here. Balance 6 lakh 70 is there. On the 10% depreciation 67,000. Now you guys tell me how much is 1 lakh 70 minus 30 plus 67. That is 7 lakh 70 minus 1 lakh into 10%, just for the record. 2 lakh 9,000 is accumulated depreciation. Then also it asked you to compute. Here we are told 6 lakh 70. 6 lakh 70 minus 2 lakh 9. 4 lakh 61,000 will be the value of the asset. So 36 lakh plus 4 lakh 61 will come in balance sheet as tangible asset. That is 40 lakh 61,000. How much will be depreciation and amortization? Not 2 lakh 9. Only 67,000 plus whatever we compute here. 2 lakh 50. Oh, Sharath. Correct. Smart boy. You get this? Yes or no? Very good. Then the 67,000 I'll write in depreciation. Depreciation and amortization. Oh, we've not opened any note. We'll write it straight in the P&L only. Shall I? Next, last adjustment. Amortization, 1/5 of goodwill. Shall we amortize 1/5 of goodwill? Already we've computed it to be 2 lakh 50. It will become 10 lakh. 10 lakh. So here 2 lakh 50, here 67. Together it's so much? 3 lakh 17 will appear in our P&L as depreciation and amortization expense. 2 lakh 50 plus 67. Done. Question is over. Shall we start with the answer now? Sir, what did you do for last 1 hour? Understanding the question. 2,50,000 is depreciation, 67,000 is amortization. 2,50,000 is amortization, 60,000 is depreciation. Okay, done. Come on, let's start posting the items into balance sheet now. Read. First one. Authorized capital they had given. We didn't write. Now we'll write that. That is given in the question. 5 lakh and 10 lakh, 15 lakh. It is a. It will not come anywhere in the balance sheet. So 13 lakh shall I write in balance sheet? You also write with me. Balance sheet, share capital. Note number 1, 13 lakh. Note number 1, 13 lakh. Note number 2, reserves and surplus. We don't know. Why? We haven't found our current year profit yet. So we'll leave this empty. Long-term borrowings, we do know. How much is long-term borrowings? Come on. Reserves and surplus, we don't know current year profit. Let's wait for it. Long-term borrowings, 4 lakh. I'll write long-term borrowings, 4 lakh. You also write. Note number 3, long-term borrowings, 4 lakh. Note number 3, long-term borrowings, 4 lakh. Why is? Previous year column, we should always write. It's comparative. To compare current year figures with previous year. But in none of the question, they'll give us the balance. So we'll not write. In the exam, to save space, you can write very small previous year column. As much as you write for ledger folio. But don't write any number there. Okay. Done. Next, after that. Trade payables. Do we have trade payables ready? Already there. Other current liabilities per year, na? Fourth one. How much is other current liabilities? 70. How much is it? Let me write other current liabilities 70. Do we have everything on the liability side? Can I take the total? No, no, no. Current year profit is not known to us. We cannot find reserves on surplus yet. We should wait. इंतजार कब तक? Till the time we finish PL. Wait, parvagila. Next, after that, non-current assets. PP, note number 5, tangible assets. Come on, tangible assets. How much do we write? 40 lakh 61. Shall I write this 10 lakh also? Intangible, I'll write one time I'll transfer 2 items. Rather than scroll up, scroll down, scroll up, scroll down, scroll up, scroll down. Dari kharch uliyutte. 40 61 tangible, 10 lakh intangible. Come on, here. 40 61 tangible, 10 lakh intangible. Okay, now. Next, do we have inventory already written, trade receivable written, cash and cash equivalent written? Take the total 50, 59, 68, 78, 80, 81, 81, 91, 900. So 82, 1900. Sorry. 82 lakh 1900. Got it? Everyone. Everyone. Now, come on. Let's quickly see the other items. P&L based items. Revenue from operation is there. Other income. Is there any other income? There is no other income. 60 lakh is income. Close. Purchase of stock in trade over. Changes in inventory over. Finance cost over. Depreciation over. Other expenses. Note number 7. Quickly come down to note number 7. How much? 29 plus 3. 32. 32. 30. What did we forget? Oh, we forgot that loss on sale of plant and machinery 30,000. Loss on sale of plant and machinery 30,000 we had forgotten. Loss on sale. Sorry, I wrote now 30. So we got 32 lakh 30. 32 lakh 30 is other expense. Come on, let's post it here. Other expenses 32 lakh 30. 32 lakh 30. Check it. How much do we get total? 22, 32, 68, 25, 68, 75, 85. Come on, tell me quick. What do we get? 58 lakh 15,100. So we get 84,900 as our profit for the period. 60 lakh minus 58 lakh 15. 1 lakh, sorry, 1 lakh 84,900. 1 lakh 84,900 shall I write into reserves and surplus now? Yes. Come to reserves and surplus. I'll write 184,900. Now identify how much is the reserves, how much is P&L for the year. Current year profit after dividend. Closing P&L balance. One lakh 86,000. 5,000 plus 40 lakh plus 1 lakh 86,900 plus 12 lakh. 52, 53, 53, 91, 900. 53, 91, 900 is reserves and surplus balance. We'll post it to balance sheet. And now comes the totaling. Pray to the superpower in the form you believe in. Then take your calculator and slowly write 13 lakh plus 53 lakh 91 900 plus 4 lakh plus 10 lakh 40,000 plus 70,000. 82 lakh 1,900. Now slide down to see the total on the liability side, which is also 82 lakh 1,900. Congratulations, your balance sheet has just tallied.